Chris will be right back if you want to go ahead and mic up.
Is this good? Is it doing anything? Is it, yeah, it's moving? Okay. All right, so we ready? Awesome sauce.
Am I on? Am I working? Is this working?
What's up?
Am I on?
It looks like it's,
Check.
he's good too, right?
Oh, it's so bright.
He's gonna give us the thumbs up when it's time.
Well, you just ask away and
All right.
I'll answer whatever I can remember.
Whatever you can remember. Wow, did you drink
No, but it's been 2 years and everything just kind of is on hold. So everything just kind of is on, like it's just been rolled over. So it's like, oh, he's giving us a thumbs up.
Good. So his mic's good, right?
Can you hear me
Awesome.
all right?
Okay,
All right.
good to go. I'm here with Ed Vanderveen. He is the showrunner of Texas Pinball Festival, which is one of the biggest shows probably out there.
The biggest.
The biggest, he says. It's
I'm biased. I'm biased.
He is biased, yeah. Everything's bigger in Texas. It's also been about 2 years since you've had your last show, is that right?
Yeah, it was March 2019 was our last Texas Pinball Festival. Of course, we got shut down 12 days before 2020, and it just rocked our world. So I mean, we're just very grateful to be able to be coming back now in 2022.
When's that next show?
March 25th to the 27th.
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
TexasPinball.com. Of course, you know.
Okay. What are we going to see there?
Well, you've been before.
I have been there.
You're going to see a lot of pinball. You're going to see a lot of all the manufacturers and a lot of, you know, our pinball celebrity guests will be there. Of course, we announced Greg Ferez. He did the artwork. He did the artwork for the show for 2022. So we've already announced him. Of course, Sylvester Mccoy is coming back. He was the seventh Doctor from the Doctor Who series.
Awesome.
And he did the call-outs of the Doctor Who pinball machine. So he was scheduled for 2020, and then of course, but he's graciously said he'll come back. So so we've got him coming. Okay. And we've got a whole bunch more announcements, but you know, a lot of the pinball shows kind of moved all their shows to the fall here, so I haven't really done a whole lot. I've been kind of just on vacation myself and going to the pinball shows, so I don't have to work them. Yeah. And so, but as soon as Expo's over and then Fantastic and Free Play, we're going to start. You know, awesome. You're going to see just a slew of announcements.
That's great.
Slew. Is that a word?
Slew. A slew. Slew? I think it's slew. A lot. You're gonna get a lot of announcements.
A lot of announcements. It's gonna come hard and fast.
That's great. You're very excited, I imagine.
We're so ready to get back.
Yeah.
I mean, just to feel like, because there's so many people have tickets for 2020, and the vendors, and it's all just kind of, we're all kind of in a holding pattern, and so we just want to get that fulfilled and make it whole and have a big show. And of course, we've announced the Twippies. They're coming. You know, Amoto, Jack Danger are going to host, and so it's gonna be awesome. I mean, it's really going to be. I'm hoping. I think people are ready. I think people are ready to get back. Pinball's back. Pinball shows are back. Yep. So we're ready to get going.
That's great. We're excited to be there and to see it. It's going to be a big party, big fun. You're going to do cigars again?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's just, you know, that kind of got started between here and Texas. Just some friends of ours. I mean, just to try to decompress on Friday or Saturday night, and it kind of turned into a thing. So,
I saw there were some people out in the courtyard that had a couple cigars.
Tonight will be the bigger one here. They're going to do that again, and I'll be out there. But yeah, we'll do some cigars at TPF one night. But of course, that's not the main focus of the show. But it is kind of a cool thing out by the bar and stuff outside.
It creates I think it's nice to have those kinds of little pockets of respite when it comes to these shows, because it is great to play all the games and to see people, but sometimes you need to take like 10 or 20 minutes,
take a break,
and just do something else.
Well, and that's for a lot of people. That's what it's all about, is just getting to see all your friends that you haven't got to see in forever, all your pinball friends.
Yep.
And you know, myself included, I've played. Now, I did play Godzilla while I was here, but for the most part, even when I go to the pinball shows, I play very little pinball at the shows because I'm so busy, you know, visiting with people and catching up and having drinks and you know, so it's.
How have you been enjoying this show? Like, what's your favorite part of this show so far?
Not having to work it.
Not having to work it, yeah.
So
I get that.
I love coming to Houston just because I don't have to do anything but have a good time, and I get to, you know, look at Keith running around like I am during TPF. So that's really the best part. Kim, she's out there playing pinball somewhere, but just it's, you know, Houston is a little. It's a little different dynamic. This is more the party show. Yeah. I mean, they have the live music and stuff, and TPF is, we don't do the loud music and stuff. We did years ago, but it just got to be where it was so big, and the vendors come and they want to be able to hear the customers, and so so we quit with the live music, and it's just different. For those that have been, you know the difference. But this is a fun show. All the lightsabers and people running around and being silly, and it's a lot of fun.
I think Keith likes to describe it as like a punk rock show. Right. It's very like, you know, easygoing, like.
Well, I'm going to misquote, but you know, Thursday was Keith's birthday, and if I'm not mistaken, this whole show kind of started out as a birthday party for Keith, and then it's just kind of, it's grown. So so it's growing too, and all the pinball shows seem to be growing, and pinball in general is just, it's huge now. It's huge. You're everywhere.
It's great. I love it. Yeah.
So I do have something for you, though.
For me?
I do. I'm going to reach in my pocket here. So, you know, every year we do a challenge coin. It's a TPF challenge coin. We make these every year. And usually the exhibitors get them when they bring their pinball machines. They get a special coin just for the Texas Pinball Festival. So,
can't see it.
So most people, most people have seen them. So
it's got him on the back.
Well, you know, that was not supposed to be that way, and I didn't do that. That was Greg Perez just being funny.
TPF or bust.
So when he put that together, he did that, and everyone's like, I think I recognize that guy.
Challenge coin, I love it.
So
very sharp, very cool. Well, thank you so much, Ed. Where can we find out more about TPF?
TexasPinball.com. Of course, we're on Facebook, Texas Pinball. Just Google it.
Facebook,
YouTube.
right?
If you go on YouTube and Google Texas Pinball, you'll find a ton of videos and all kinds of stuff. Of course, y'all have been a big supporter too. So
we love going. It's a great show.
We're not hard to find.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Levels, levels, levels.
Yeah. All good.
Cool.
I feel so bright. You look great.
Wow, we're a lot further than, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that is better than being like on top of that. All right.
Ready? Okay. I am here with Sarah B. Sarah Bichette.
What's up?
Co-worker and friend.
Right.
She works with Marco Specialties. What do you do, Sarah?
I am in procurement.
Okay. What does that mean?
So I order all your parts to make
She
sure
does.
they stay on the shelf.
Yeah. She deals with a lot of invoices. I know.
Yes.
I know that much. I'll go over to her desk and it'll be like, oh, there's a lot of paperwork here. This is your second show, correct? Working with Marco?
Yes.
How are you enjoying it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
Meeting all the new people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I love the people aspect of things. I
Yeah.
love just meeting everyone. Getting to play a bunch of the games that I have not been able to play yet. So that's cool.
It certainly sounds like you've met a lot of people as your voice is
My voice is already
almost
shot.
gone. I don't get it. I've been talking just as much as she has and I'm fine, but you must be doing a great job.
Yeah, lots of talking.
That's cool. So what do you have planned for today?
Today we are just trying to get people signed up for the raffle.
That's right.
So we want to give away a translate again. Other than that, just play around some of the games and
Meet more people.
Meet more people.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's lots of fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're here with us. You're like a great teammate and you're doing a killer job.
Thank you.
So, I think, so if you want to sign up if you're here, I don't know why you would be watching the stream right now, but come to our booth and sign up for that raffle. There's a QR code. It's great. Other than that,
Yeah,
Sarah.
great.
Sarah. We stayed up very late last night, having lots of fun and playing lots of pinball, and it was awesome. So, come to shows.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. It's fun and good.
Yes.
All right.
Great.
Let's go do more interviews.
Thank you. Oh, that was bad.
Easy peas.
Talking. Talking. Hello, I'm talking into the microphone. How does it sound? Okay. One of the owners of Quasars, right?
Yes, I'm one. Yes, co-owner of Quasars Arcade. Pretty much all the pinball machines came from my side. I used to be a software engineer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, I guess we're live now.
Okay,
so
cool.
now we can continue our conversation on the internet.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm Kyle, and I'm here with Peter, one of the co-owners of Quasars Arcade in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes, you got that right. Yeah.
Good. I just learned exactly where Corpus Christi is. We're in a cool triangle between Houston, Corpus, Austin, San Antonio.
Yes.
Kind of a neat place to be.
It is, though they generally talk about Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. They forget the Corpus. But yeah, it's fine.
But you've got NASA history there, right? Houston and Corpus are both launch sites, aren't they?
Yeah, I think isn't Elon Musk supposed to be building something in that area too now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, tell us about your arcade. What got you into this, and why start an arcade? When? What?
Oh yeah, so no one just says I want to be in the arcade business. It's a labor of love. So I got my start back in around 2015, 2016. I'm sure you're familiar with Dead Flip, Jack Danger.
Oh yeah.
I used to be in his channel. He actually convinced me not to buy a Jurassic Park and instead buy a Twilight Zone. And it was the best decision I ever made. So he would always try to stream at conventions. And so I noticed that he would never be able to do it. So I told him the next time we come to PAX South, since he was, that I will drag my Twilight Zone to the show, and we are gonna, if I have to stream from my hotel room, we will stream from the show. So I was able to meet who became a longtime friend that ran the arcade at PAX South. He gave me the floor space, so we ran a pinball seminar at PAX South with Twilight Zone, going over all the rules, having everyone in San Antonio discover pinball. And we did that for 2 years. But of course, when you buy an arcade game, they never stay singular. So 1 became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8. I started doing shows at South by with the arcade.
Cool.
And then one of my longtime friends in Corpus was looking to bring back his arcade that he ran. And since I had about 8 to 10 games at that point, he was like, hey, I want to open up. I don't have enough games. Will you provide some? So I said, definitely. I found out that he wanted a partner at some point. So I'm like, I'll partner. So we started with around 30 to 40 games and 10 pinball machines. And now after 2 years, we have close to 30 plus, 29 in the arcade, but we've definitely tripled and doubled our arcade games and packed out our place.
So a mix between pinball and video in the arcade?
Yeah. So we don't try to be Dave & Buster's. So we're talking about everything from like a Donkey Kong all the way up to, we have 3 Godzillas on our floor right now, Pro Premium and the Sega one, so you get to try them all.
You get the whole range of Godzilla.
Yes.
So, and you also were mentioning to me earlier, you have old and new in pinball too, right? So
Yes.
I'm assuming your Twilight Zone's there, some new Stern
My first
games.
Yes. So we have pretty much all the Stern games for the past several years. I say the summer of the pandemic was a great time to move my money into pinball instead of staying around. I did not know that we were going to have the backup, so I got lucky just buying every game that was available.
Good.
I really love my Led Zeppelin, so we have all those. Yeah, so it's a great mix of. It's the only place that I think in Texas you could play not only Alice Cooper, Rick and Morty, Dialed In, Guns N' Roses, all the Stern games under one roof. So yeah, it's a great mix of every new game out there.
That's awesome. How is the pricing at your arcade? Is it a entrance fee to get in, or
No,
is it per game?
We keep it at tokens for now,
Nice.
and we're going to probably stay on that model. I thought about the free play thing. The problem is that you generally cut off people that don't have $5 to $10. So I want to make sure that the entry, even if you have a few tokens or quarter or dollar, there's still something in the arcade. So our classics are still one token, so something to play for anybody.
Absolutely, yeah, it does, because, and also sometimes if you go into a free play arcade, it's like, well, it's $10 for an hour or something. Well, what if I only want to be there for a couple games before I hit something else?
Oh yeah,
And I love tokens because it's a fun way to brand, right?
Yeah, yes.
Do you have, I mean, your tokens are branded?
Yes, my girlfriend branded the actual tokens.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's our cue with the stars around it and stuff like that. So yeah.
Rad. So let's talk about your background in pinball then. Did you discover your renewed love for pinball by watching Jack Danger stream and then buying your first game? Or?
Yes, I was. I don't work for them anymore, so it's okay for me to admit. I worked for Intel at the time up in Austin. So I was a software engineer because no one has the hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy games. You got to have it from somewhere. So I would watch him because he did his 24-hour stream, and he said he'd never do it again back around that time where he was just streaming game after game after game. So I kind of, between that and then playing at pinballs, which got me to, and it's always, I find that people get into pinball from one game. So my game was Black Rose at the time. And the reason it was Black Rose was because it was the cheapest game on the floor. I knew how to get to multi-ball, so it stuck with me, and I was able to branch from that to kind of learn. And then I went to No Fear, which was the other cheap game.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot cheaper than it is now. But yeah, so I also have a No Fear on my floor for that reason
Awesome.
too.
I love that game.
Yes.
I'm happy that there's one here. I've been playing it a bit.
Yes.
So what about pandemic times in the arcade? How did you guys string through that?
So it was really rough because the shutdown, we were going into, Corpus is a really big vacation spot. So coming from March on, we get the spring break traffic, and everything got shut down right as we were starting that, so we lost all that business. We got to a weird point. I'm not trying to incriminate myself because Corpus is so far away that there's a lot of these sweepstakes places that in Texas it's a weird gray area.
Okay, yeah.
So I found that they were able to run, and I was like, at some point when we were shut down, we used it to expand, and I'm like, I'm opening. And I told my boss when I was working as an engineer, I'm like, I might be in jail because my business is losing money. It feels like a business is a baby, and you're putting so much money to get it to stay alive, and once it's living and starts generating, it's almost like it moves to college, like it's out the door. So when you see it shut down and you see that money being drained, it kills you inside that the thing that you brought to life, is it's a living being, it disappears. But Corpus was such an appreciative place that when we reopened up, they were there immediately. Everyone follows us on Facebook, so they knew when we reopened, and even when things got worse, they were still coming in the door, keeping us alive during that time. And we took what we can, so we were able to get PPP to pay for our employees. Good. We took money, we kept buying games to get more people to just want to come in and just keep giving attractions. And we just basically stuck to our mission of providing a fun place in Corpus to play games for all ages. And that's what we stuck with. We didn't want to get into any of the political stuff. We just wanted an arcade so people could, with all the stress, and just come in and play time.
Relax,
and
in a safe spot.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And we made sure we used, it was like some sort of spray that allowed it to kill everything, just so we could make sure that people could actually safe. We understood that people didn't want to come in. Yeah. We tried doing some rentals at the time. It helped us out. But we would just want to be there for our community, and like they were for us, and they came and helped us out through the community.
Well, one thing I know about Texas is the people are wonderful, and the pinball community is really strong.
Oh, it's hardcore.
It's really cool. Everyone I've met here, every time I've been to TPF or this show, the people are wonderful. And Texas is a pinball state, absolutely.
It is. I met a lot of them, and that's a great thing you brought up. When I ran my first convention in 2019, I acronymed it STAGE, South Texas Arcade Games Expo. I ran it out of my friend's place that helped me with getting my start into pinball and such. So I got to meet all of them, and I will tell you, it takes a team to start a convention. When I announced it, I had Phil from the Space City people saying, I will do the streaming stuff. I had the tournament director of TPF mention to me, saying, I will TO it. So awesome. Everyone from all of Texas came down and says, we are going to make this an event. And awesome. They filmed the finals. And to this day, if you ask anyone that was there, it's on YouTube, the 2019. They will say that was the finals. The last game on Iron Maiden was probably one of the most intense games of Iron Maiden to ever be televised. Steve Bowden was in the finals and such.
Oh
and,
yeah, when you got people like that, it's a...
We had a music actor that was supposed to finish off. The first 2 balls for everyone was a brutal score, and that last ball lasted an hour for everyone. Everyone picked up on that game, hitting wizard modes. One of the scores came bonus like within his. We were all like seeing the count-ups, like, is he gonna cross? Yeah, and everyone just went, oh my gosh, like it was just like within thousands of points. Like it was awesome. Intense. So yeah.
And that's what makes competitive pinball great.
Yes.
Okay, I think they're about to start playing music soon.
Awesome.
What is your favorite game you have been able to enjoy here this weekend?
To be honest, I think my favorite game, probably, I hate to say it's probably Godzilla right now. It is such
you shouldn't hate to say it's a fantastic game.
Well, I like to give stuff, but yes, probably one of my favorite modern classics.
I would agree, sir. I think that game is a game that will go into that class. I mean, the hype is real.
Yes.
It's a new game, but that is a game that will go down in one
top
of that
10.
Top 10. It's incredible.
Yes.
I would have to say my next favorite game that I've never played before is Multi-Morphic's Heist.
Yes, I spoke to them earlier today.
Heist is a really fun game, and
yes.
I cannot wait to go play it again.
Yes.
So.
Jerry's someone that I know through my business partner. We hope to have him down to Corpus at some point with his games to show it off.
You're definitely going to have to do that. You might have to put your name in on the wait list. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Peter, it's good talking to you, man.
Good
nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
Goodbye, Internet.
See you later.
here with Jerry Sellenberg and Steven Silver of Multi-Morphic. What do you guys do for the company? Let's get into it. Talk about it.
Well, I started the company. I do a lot of work for the company.
Yes, you do.
Steven does the fun work for the company.
Okay. Yeah, Steven is
I'm the creative director on Heist, which is our latest Playfield module, and the creative director on the next game that we've got coming.
Okay, awesome. Tell us a little bit about Heist. I unfortunately have not had a chance to play it yet. I will get over there, but what's it all about?
I'll let Steven tell you the story on Heist.
Okay.
He's the creative director.
Yeah, so Heist is basically taking all of your movie heist tropes and putting them in a game. You're playing through the individual characters doing their jobs. You've got a mastermind, you've got a wheelman, you've got a safecracker, all the typical jobs that you have. And so you play their modes and you run little heists, and you're all preparing for the big final heist against the big bad in the game, which is Frank Bigelow, Mr. Big in the town that owns everything in town. And so you play through this wizard mode where you're trying to go and take down his empire and steal from him at the end of the day. So we've got a lot of fun things packed into the game.
Okay. When did Heist come out?
March 2020, right before COVID shut everything down.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just the way it is, I guess.
Yeah.
You also have another new one. It's Sorcerer's Apprentice. Is that out or is that coming out?
It's out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's that one about?
Sorcerer's Apprentice is an add-on game, a full, deep rule set add-on game that works with the Cosmic Kart Racing Playfield. So people who already have the Playfield can pay $4.99 on their store, download it, and get a whole new gaming experience right away.
Okay. That's what the Multi-Morphic platform is all about, right? You have 2 base games, is that right? And then you put your... I'm very not familiar. I'm still learning about it.
No, we actually have 4 Playfields now. We have Lexi, Cannon Lagoon, Cosmic Kart Racing, and Heist.
Okay.
Working on our 5th right now, which is a licensed theme that's coming out soon.
Okay.
But yeah, and then we have add-on software packages, so games like Rocks and Shoot and Scoot, and Sorcerer's Apprentice. We have 13 games in total now for the single game system.
Okay. That's awesome. That's terrific.
Yeah,
I'm excited
four of those games are third-party games by third-party people.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about how y'all got into pinball.
Oh gosh, so
Classic question.
College pool hall, waiting to play pool games. My friends always were playing pinball and kind of got me hooked.
Okay.
Started collecting, started growing the collection.
Yeah.
Grew it way too big, and then realized I need to do something about this, and started thinking.
Yeah, awesome. What about you?
I played in, my mom was in a bowling league when I was a kid, so I would go over there and I would be terrible at all the fighting games and everything, but they had a pinbot in the bowling alley, and I'd play it all the time, and then I didn't touch it for years, and we hired this Australian guy named David Van Ness, who later went on to work for Spooky here in Houston, and he was bringing me around to tournaments and stuff, and I caught the bug, and that was back in 2010 or so, and I've been collecting ever since.
That's terrific. That's really cool. So what's next for Multi-Morphic? Can you tell us anything? You just said that there's going to be a license theme. Can't talk about that too much, I imagine.
Not much. This is our first licensed theme. We've already announced that Scott Denisi is helping us with the audio package.
That's awesome.
Working with a lot of industry folks. We're doing some really cool stuff.
That's very exciting. That's really cool. I'm so excited to see something that's a little bit more alternative in the pinball world, but still, you still have flippers, you still have mechanisms, but there's just a lot more options with these platforms. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, the idea is it's a value proposition, so you spend a lot of money on any machine.
Sure, yeah.
But with our machine, you can add content to it, add gameplay, add physical modules, add new add-on games, and build up a game library.
That's great. It's also really awesome, Jerry, that you help out with the homebrew community so much. I know that platform is super important to a lot of those people. It's kind of launched a lot of important homebrews for people. I mean, Scott Denisi used your platform, like...
Keith Elwin.
Yeah, Keith Elwin used it. And it's even more people. You were talking earlier. He had a seminar earlier. It was really terrific. You could probably see it somewhere. I don't know.
I hope it was recorded.
Yeah, I hope so, for sure. But he was talking a little bit about, how that came about. He went into a little bit more detail, and it was really, really cool. There's a PinDev Slack channel, which is just a huge community support. Like, it's really awesome that you do that.
I
am on it, yes. I'm starting my homebrew, and I'm excited to get one of your boards.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So where can we find out more about Multi-Morphic and P3?
Always multimorphic.com is our website. It's got all of our products up there. We also now have a Discord channel, so just reach out to us, ask for an invite.
Okay.
The whole community of P3 owners are super supportive, help everyone out, talk about the games, talk about new developments coming on their own games and our games as well. It's awesome. A really cool community.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. It was a pleasure to talk.
Thank you.
Yeah. more than 15 seconds, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Steven.
Well, y'all come over and give it a try. Okay?
I will.
We're going to talk about our flipper rebuild kits that we put together here at Marco. These kits, we have them for a wide variety of games, and they are set up for different eras, right? So like the ones we dealt with on roller games many, many months ago, that one has different interstroke switches. It has different flipper cranks links to use the compression spring as opposed to the expansion spring like these kits do. We have these for old Bally games, older Williams games, some Gottlieb games even. So this kit would be a simple kit for a game that only uses 2 flippers. This kit, the Woof Ultron Kit, it's a left and a right flipper crank and link. You've got 2 coil stops, 2 coil sleeves. You've got an assortment of hardware just in case, which is very common to have pieces of hardware missing from your flipper base. Maybe you have a sheared off and broken coil stop screw, a 1032 cap nut. So we include all of these things, a couple 632 1/4-inch screws to replace your coil retaining brackets. You've got a handy dandy flipper space gauge, as well as 2 end of stroke switches. And again, this is for a Fliptronic game. Handy, all in one bag, keeps it easy. If you own a funhouse, you probably know what this is. A ball goes in, nestles in that half-moon cutout, and then this thing rotates and allows the balls to escape. The original assembly from Williams, 3-piece ball cam and lock, right? Sorry, the shaft that would be pinned to the collar, right? And then you had this disc that was then swaged on top. So it was basically the metal came up and it was pushed over, whatever. We had these reassembled, remanufactured, where the wear item, which is the disc, can be replaced. This collar is now threaded. This screw protrudes maybe 1 millimeter, almost 2 millimeters higher than it would be from the factory, but it shouldn't be a problem because there is plenty of space. So you've essentially got a rebuildable unit now, which is nice. But these things are very commonly blown out on one side. Or this disc becomes loose in the collar. So anyways, you can get these now. It is a 2-piece cup holder with a base that will mount to the leg of your pinball machine, and a cup that or holder that could be moved from game to game. There are 2 big Phillips head screws that can attach this thing down if you want to keep it in place, but I think the neat, innovative bit of this system is the fact that the base of the cup holder is detachable from the leg itself. So say you have a lot of pinball machines, and you have 5 friends and you have 10 games, you could buy base plates for all your games and have a cup holder for people to bring their beverage with them from game to game. It's pretty innovative. It's pretty rad. It's large. It has cutouts for a coffee mug or a high-handled coffee mug. So you should be able to fit most size cups in here. I could fit this seltzer water cup quite nicely. This is something that I will definitely be using on the couple games that I have at home, so I can stop putting my cups of beer on the game itself. The mounts are universal, so you could either mount them this way, right, with the cup holder facing away from you, or it could be mounted the other way if you wanted it in front. You could mount it to the front, so you know, I guess in some arcades this is probably a better way to do it because you have more, less side-to-side room and a little more front room. The neat thing about this product is too, though, is you can purchase it with a totally flat cup holder piece as well. So this is not ideal for mounting to like a pinball leg per se, but if you had a video game, or something that does not have legs, you could mount it flat up against the coin door using the carriage bolts that attach that thing. Obviously, you wouldn't want to put it right under the start button, but it is a pretty lovely universal product. I definitely think the removability is the neatest thing to me. I've operated games in breweries and arcade in bars for a long time, and these things get disgusting. So it is nice to be able to take them off, put them in the wash, and then put them back in the game. There are spots in this cup holder too that will allow you to drill drainage holes. So, if you're using these at home and you don't want condensation or beer dripping all over your nice floors, you don't need holes. But if you wanted to put holes in them like I would, there is provisions to do so inside. So very versatile. That's what I like about this product. maybe some of you have a late model Williams game, and you're playing it, and you're like hitting both the flippers, and then the thing just turns off. And you're like, what the hell? And then you boot it comes back on. You're like, okay, let's play again. And it keeps doing it over and over again. That is a dreaded problem, a very common problem. And before, it took a bit of troubleshooting and a bit of work to get it to work. But the fine folks at Car Circuits have come up with this awesome little, we'll call it a daughter board, which will kind of solve, it's kind of a Band-Aid, but it also could be a permanent solution for that issue. We can go over to my Twilight zone and we can kind of talk about it for a second, and then I can show you how to install it and how it works. So that problem stems from your big driver board here. This thing is overtaxed. It has one regulator that runs the 5 volts that goes to every other board in this, the contraption that is the pinball machine. And what happens is you do get a bunch of resistance that builds up, and again, 30 years later, right, you will need to start changing components and rebuilding things to make sure that 5 volts is strong enough to run your computer. What this device does is it intercepts the 12 volts, which also runs to the computer, and it has its own 5 volt regulator. So what it will do is it will ignore the 5 volts that's being sent from the driver board to the computer, take the 12 volts that is coming from the driver board, which is a rather strong circuit, make its own 5 volts to run the computer. If you were to want to fix something like this, you would do a lot of removal of boards and changing of components, and it turns into a lot of work. This, it's as simple as unplugging your power connector to the computer, plugging the daughter board into that connector, and then reapplying the power to the daughter board. You fire the game up, and you will have a stable, solid 5 volts running to your computer for some time. It's easy.
And I said,
wow, Flipstream just gifted a tier 1 sub to Marco Pinball.
Flipstream with the flex. This one's for you, baby. And
well, my name is Manuel, and I'm here to say I'm rocking to the beat almost every day. I got real big, I'm never small, cause I do all my shopping at Marco Pinball. Hit it! What?
Here's a pin tip for you. Never walk away from the game until you're sure your ball is over. If you drain pretty quickly, you might get a pity ball called a ball save. Or you could have earned an extra ball. So wait until the bonus screen pops up, because then you'll know your ball is over and the next player is up. Go for it. Want more pinball in your life? You are not alone. There's a huge pinball community out there that you can connect with. Check online at the many pinball events around the world, join pinball forums, visit local arcades, or give us a call if you ever need help navigating through this awesome hobby. This video has been made possible by Marco Pinball, your one-stop everything pinball shop. Visit us online at marcopinball.com for all your pinball needs. Until next time, happy flipping. So you have your own game, you're playing it all the time, your family and friends are playing it, the cat sits on it, somebody spills a drink. It's going to get dirty. What do? Well, in this video, we'll cover the basics of cleaning your game. This is a quick cleaning guide, so surfaces only. We won't be removing any game components or taking things apart. So grab some rags. As a general rule, you should clean your game when it starts to look dirty. Grease and dirt around the flipper buttons, fingerprints on the glass, that mysterious sticky spot on the cabinet. Maybe there's even a nice dark trail where the ball travels on the playfield. It needs to be cleaned. So it's very important to note that how you clean your pinball machines depends on the age and condition of your game. Let's start with the playfield glass. Unless your game has upgraded low reflective glass, in which case you should check the manufacturer's instructions, all you need to do is give it a squirt of glass cleaner whenever it gets dirty. Wipe it dry with a microfiber cloth or even just use an old t-shirt. Next up, the playfield. The first step, after you remove the glass, is to determine the age and condition of your game, especially if you bought it used. Do you see bare wood or flaking paint? If so, clean with extreme care, or better yet, leave it alone. You don't want to make it worse. If your playfield is in good shape, no matter its age, we recommend using Novus products. Novus 1 can be used on the entire playfield, and Novus 2 is better for those high traffic areas of the playfield as well as the plastic ramps. Please remember that Novus is an abrasive product, so for best results, use these products sparingly with a microfiber cloth. Does your playfield have Mylar? You can still use Novus 1 to wipe it, just be careful around the edges. Also, don't use any solvent-based cleaners which can dissolve the Mylar. While you've got the glass off, take a quick look at the pinballs. Balls don't get very dirty, but it can't hurt to give them a wipe when you clean your game. Replace those balls if they're scratched, rusty, or beginning to look dull. And finally, the cabinet. We have 2 words: be careful. Cabinet art is easily destroyed, and it's best to spot clean and only when absolutely necessary. Use a soft cloth, lightly dampened with Novus 2, and test a small section first. It's best to not use water because some paints are water soluble. Flipper buttons, start buttons, ball shooters, and coin doors are all pretty sturdy and can be wiped down with a damp cloth. Remember, clean games are happy games. Want more pinball in your life? You are not alone. There's a huge pinball community out there that you can connect with. Check online at the many pinball events around the world, join pinball forums, visit local arcades, or give us a call if you ever need help navigating through this awesome hobby. This video has been made possible by Marco Pinball, your one-stop everything pinball shop. Visit us online at marcopinball.com for all your pinball needs. Until next time, happy flipping. Hey everyone, welcome to Marco Pinball's PinTech series. You know, pinball is most enjoyable when you actually have the confidence to take care of your own games. If this is your first time owning a pinball machine, then this is the series for you. In Module 1, Pinball Basics, we'll cover setting up your game to basic gameplay, care, and maintenance. Congratulations, you got yourself a pinball machine. Now, all you have to do is set it up. Alright, that's heavy. In an ideal situation, you'll have a friend. Luckily for me, I have Crystal and Kyle with me today. Thank you. You'll also need the following items: a wrench or socket wrench to install the 8 leg bolts. The bolts to most games are usually 9/16 to 5/8 inch. A way to support the game while you install the back legs. We're using an old stool. Anything sturdy will do as long as it's high enough to keep the back legs off the floor while you're attaching them. The bolts for securing the head. Whether you bought your game new or used, you should have bolts for the head. Before you begin, make sure the back box, or head, is folded down and secured to the game with a packing strap, so when you lift the game, it doesn't get damaged. If the back box of your game is completely detached already, just leave it to the side for now. Attach the front legs to the game using the leg bolts and wrench. The bolts should be pretty snug, but don't over tighten. Make sure each leg has a leg leveler and the jam nuts are screwed in below the leg. If your leg levelers are in bad shape like this, you'll want to go ahead and replace them. It's a quick fix and you won't regret it. Now you can pivot the game down and rest it on the front legs. Grab the rear legs and unscrew the rear leg levelers an inch or two. This is a good starting point for the pitch for most games. Have the legs and bolts with an easy reach on both sides of the machine. Now you will need to prop the game up onto the front legs. Preferably with a helper, lift the back end of the game up and rest it on the stool. Attach the back legs with the bolts, remove the stool, and set it on the floor. Again, the leg bolts should be pretty snug, but don't over tighten. Remove the strap that secured the back box of the game. Carefully lift the head up, making sure the wires tuck into the body of the game as the head goes up without getting pinched. Unlock the back box, then remove the back glass by lifting up the glass and pulling it out carefully. Now, you can attach the bolts that lock the head into an upright position. Put the game close to its final location, leaving enough room to access the back of the game. If your game is on carpet, you can use furniture sliders to make it easier to move. Sometimes, you may have a game with the head completely detached. If that's the case, here's how to properly attach the back box to your game. Reach into the lower cabinet and route the AC power cord to the outside. There's usually a notch for the power cord to nest in. Remove the back glass from the back box carefully before attaching it to the lower cabinet and place it somewhere safe. Lift the back box up and set it in place. Reach inside the game and take out the wiring harness that connects the head to the body. Open the insert panel and hold the head in position while fastening the head to the cabinet. Take each connector and plug them into the respective board. Generally, connectors are keyed and will only fit in one way in one place. Don't ever try to force in the connectors. If you are unsure about where something goes, check your manual. And that's it. Well, almost. There's no balls in the game, and it's probably a little crooked. We'll tackle those issues in the next section. Want more pinball in your life? You are not alone. There's a huge pinball community out there that you can connect with. Check online at the many pinball events around the world, join pinball forums, visit local arcades, or give us a call if you ever need help navigating through this awesome hobby. This video has been made possible by Marco Pinball, your one-stop everything pinball shop. Visit us online at marcopinball.com for all your pinball needs. Until next time, happy flipping. Here's this awesome Twilight Zone, almost ready to play, but first we have a few more things to do. One of them is cleaning these balls. Brand new balls can have excess oil on them, so if your game is new, it's a good idea to wipe down the balls before you use them. First, open the coin door with the key that came with your game. Depending on the age of your game, you should see 1 or 2 latches holding the lockdown bar in place. Unlatch them and remove the lockdown bar by lifting it up and out. Newer Stern games have 2 latches on the back side of the front panel, 1 on each side of the coin door opening. Be careful because they will spring open quickly. Close the coin door so you don't hit or scratch the glass with it. Carefully slide the Playfield glass all the way out using just your palms to avoid getting fingerprints all over it. The glass is tempered, so nicking the edge of the glass can cause it to explode, so be careful. Placing the glass on a solid surface where the temperature change could be too extreme, for example, really warm glass setting down on a freezing basement floor, that can also cause the glass to shatter. So again, be careful with your glass. The safest method is to protect the top and bottom edges of the glass with a towel, or even a cut-up pool noodle, and then lean it carefully against a wall. Depending on the game, there are two main ways to access the underside of the playfield. In some games, you just simply tilt the playfield straight up so it leans against the head. Otherwise, you may need to pull the playfield out slightly towards you before you tilt it up. Some older games may also have a prop of some kind that you can rest the playfield on. Be careful. Watch where your fingers are when raising and lowering the playfield. Also, avoid bumping the playfield when it's in the upright position because it can slam down unexpectedly. Remove any packing material in the game or on the playfield. Sometimes, older games even have hidden treasures inside of them. The next step will be to install the tilt mechanism or plumb bob if it hasn't already been installed. It's usually located inside the cabinet on the left side. Check your manual for specific installation details. Move the plumb bob up or down to adjust the sensitivity. If the tilt is too tight, then the plumb bob will swing and touch the ring at the slightest bump. This will trigger a tilt message and the ball in play will end. It's more fun to shake it and not break it. You can test how sensitive the tilt mechanism is by shaking the game when you play. Now, lower the playfield and install the balls. Just put them on the playfield and let them go. They'll drop down between the flippers into the ball trough. If the game is older and the balls are worn or dented, you probably want to order some new ones. They'll look and play a lot better, and they won't scratch your playfield. Many games have a small level attached to the lower right side of the playfield. This level indicates the pitch of the game from back to front. Use a small bubble level or angle finder tool to measure the slope. Many smartphones now have an angle measuring app built in. Be sure to place your level directly on the playfield and not on top of the playfield glass. Most electronic pinball machines are designed to have a 6.5 degree slope. If you want the game to play faster, increase the pitch on the back legs by screwing in the rear leg levelers in or out. You will also need to level your game to 0 degrees from left to right by placing the level parallel to the front of the game. Adjust the leg levelers until the readings on both levels are satisfactory. Finally, slide in the playfield glass back in, replace the lockdown bar, and secure it in place with the latch. Plug in your game and power it up. And in the next section, we'll tackle how to adjust some common game settings. Want more pinball in your life? You are not alone. There's a huge pinball community out there that you can connect with. Check online at the many pinball events around the world, join pinball forums, visit local arcades, or give us a call if you ever need help navigating through this awesome hobby. This video has been made possible by Marco Pinball, your one-stop everything pinball shop. Visit us online at marcopinball.com for all your pinball needs. Until next time, happy flipping. Here's a pin tip for you, where to keep your keys. Well, most games have a small wire hook on the back side of the coin door for your back box keys. If you don't have this hook, you can buy it on our website, but now you'll never lose your back box keys. But that won't do you much good if you lose your coin door key. Make sure you keep this in a safe place, and if you have multiple games, label your keys. If you don't want to deal with keys, you can always replace your coin door key with a keyless lock. Want more pinball in your life? You are not alone. There's a huge pinball community out there that you can connect with. Check online at the many pinball events around the world, join pinball forums, visit local arcades, or give us a call if you ever need help navigating through this awesome hobby. This video has been made possible by Marco Pinball, your one-stop everything pinball shop. Visit us online at marcopinball.com for all your pinball needs. Until next time, happy flipping. And now, that moment we've all been waiting for, let's power it up. On most games, the power switch is located underneath the front of the game on the right. However, newer Stern games have a switch at the bottom right of the head. If your game won't power on, double check that the power cord is not damaged and it's plugged into a working outlet. If the game powers on but doesn't do anything, that's a whole nother can of worms, all of which are beyond the scope of this video. Sorry. But for now, we're going to assume your game is working fine, and once the game is powered up, you can check a few basic settings. Who are we kidding? Go ahead and play a few games first. We'll wait. All game settings are accessed through the coin door. Inside the coin door, you should see several buttons, either on the coin door itself or just inside the cabinet. These are service and diagnostic switches, and the functions and menu layouts may vary between manufacturers. But with any luck, the buttons will be labeled. Generally, 1 or 2 buttons will be for volume, one is to access the menu system, and another to escape that menu system or add credits. Use the volume buttons to increase or decrease the sound volume to your liking. If you have an older game and don't see volume buttons, look for a knob of some kind inside the cabinet. Another setting you may want to adjust is whether your game requires coins. Typically, a new game is set so you have to insert coins in order to play. But if you don't want your game to be a piggy bank, you can always change the game settings to free play. The settings for changing a game to free play will be buried somewhere in the menu system. We hate to sound like a broken record, but if you don't have a manual for your game, you really need to get one. There's a good chance that the manual will show the structure of the menu items so you know where to go. Here's how to change Twilight Zone to free play. And keep in mind, your game will most likely be a little different. Push the menu button, scroll through the menu systems to find the adjustment settings, and scroll to pricing adjustments. Look for the free play setting here. Hit enter to make your selection. When you're finished changing the settings in the menu system, hit the escape button to get back to normal gameplay. Now, it's time to close up that coin door and press start. To add another player, press start again. Most games allow up to 4 players, and the display on the back box shows you whose turn it is. This is player 1, player 2, player 3, and player 4. The active player scores will either be
ready to go? All right, I guess we're live now. Steve's giving it the big thumbs up.
All right.
Mike, it's great to have you here.
It's great to be back here after 2-year absence.
2-year absence. You know what? Actually, thinking about it, this may have been the last place I saw you before COVID.
This was. The last show we did was this show 2 years ago was the end of our tour. And then we were supposed to start again in March of last year, and then the pandemic hit.
That didn't happen.
Nope, it did not.
Well, it's good to be back. Are you having a fun time
I'm
here?
having an excellent time. I've missed this part of the job so much.
It is a good perk, huh?
It is.
So, if y'all on the internet don't know, this is Mike Vinacore. He works at Stern. He does a lot of things there. What do you do at Stern?
Well, so my official title is Associate Game Developer. So, depending on the title, and the team I'm working with, I help out with rules from on various games. I am in charge of all of our software testing. I oversee like putting games on field tests locally, and they send me to these pinball shows to work with you Marco folks to be like the face of Stern at these events, which I absolutely love. And as of end of last year, I did the expression lights in Led Zeppelin. So the light shows for the expression lights.
A full coding job.
Yeah, they keep giving me different hats, and I just keep trying to grow my head bigger to fit them all.
Yeah, official titles really don't mean things.
No, I love doing different stuff. I love learning more things. I love just contributing to the company in whatever way they need me. So it keeps it interesting because I'm always doing something different.
It's exciting. We've done something different here today. We have 13 insider-connected pinball machines all wired up at the Houston Arcade Expo.
Yep.
It's been pretty cool. I've seen a lot of people scanning QR codes and playing online.
And I've seen a couple of the more hardcore players, like achievement farming. They're trying to get as many as possible while they have the access to these games.
Yeah, until their codes and their kits actually come for Avengers, this is the only place to do it.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Have you had many challenges this weekend?
I've had a few, yeah. I've had challenges as young as like about a 5-year-old boy and his sister to some people like more my age range that were much like tournament caliber players.
Have you lost your edge? Are you continuously beating these people into the ground?
No, I'm a little rusty. And honestly, my level of playing varies throughout the day based on like when I've eaten and how much sleep I got.
So let's talk about the eating. We had In-N-Out yesterday.
We did, and it was heavenly.
And it was amazing. If anyone doesn't know, Mike is obsessed with In-N-Out.
I absolutely am. Although I can't eat it as much as I used to due to health reasons, but my 2 cheat meals will be happening this weekend, and one of them was last night or yesterday afternoon at the In-N-Out.
And very shortly we will be going to Waffle House.
Yes, so I will be in heaven again in a couple short hours or less.
What's been your favorite part of the show so far?
Just meeting and talking to the various pinball fans and collectors and enthusiasts. It's such a joy to meet them and then interact with them, answer their questions, play games with them. Like meeting the community wherever I go is such a treat. I don't get to meet them when I'm sitting in my office at work or my basement office at home. Being out here and being able to interact with them is just a real treat.
The in-person passion is pretty contagious, right?
It is. I go to these shows, and as exhausting as the hours are, being on my feet all day, it actually refreshes me to be around people that are just so excited about pinball.
It is. It's amazing here. Another fun part about this show that both of us can connect on is it's pretty music focused.
It is. There were some great performances last night from various different musicians and some really unique ones too. Like I was sitting here thinking, normally I would do concert photography, and I don't like being at live music events if I'm not photographing them. But last night, just as a spectator, I'm seeing this different kind of stuff that I usually go to. And it was such a joy.
It was pretty cool. I like the robot guy.
Yeah, the robot guy was awesome.
That was awesome.
The guy in the Atari Matt, phenomenal.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It was such a fun evening.
I'm excited to catch all the rest of the music tonight. It'll be pretty good. But, we've got to please our fans here.
Okay.
I think the burning question always is, what is the next Stern title coming out?
Kyle, I can't answer that question. I can never answer it.
Why?
Well, because I'm not allowed. Well, there's nothing that you can do to get me to break my oath.
What if a couple crisp $100 bills would...
well, in that case, the next game is...
I think that worked out okay.
Awesome.
Did you cancel that right on? You're the best. That was
awesome,
so good.
Thank you.
That's so funny.
That was brilliant of Scott and Sarah to think of that.
I hope that no one gets mad about that.
I think if they can't appreciate the humor, then they deserve to be mad.
Does John Biscaglia have his been given some fake $100 bills. This has been quite fun.
Is that legal? Are you allowed to do that?
It says play money, so that makes it legal. I asked when we were on the interview. I asked Mike, "Well, tell me what the next Stern game is." He's like, "I can't tell you that." And then I said, "Are you sure?" And then he cut the camera. It was a good. Everyone knows that everything's legal in Texas.
Oh, yes.
I am here with Martin of Pinball News. We're here at the Houston Arcade Expo 2021. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. It's been a really good time here. And it was my first visit to this show, so in fact, it's my first visit to Houston, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, I'm kind of wondering why I didn't come before.
I think everyone who comes here realizes that this is the show that they need to try to come to at least once. This is also your first time in the States, and how long?
Well, almost 2 years. I mean, my last band trip was to the Texas show back in 2020,
yep,
I suppose, and that's when the pandemic really caught. And gradually, all the elements of that trip, it's going to be a huge road trip, actually starting in Houston, going up to San Antonio to see Deep Root, going up to the Texas Pinball Festival, driving up through Memphis, going to see Wayne Nyans at his house, then going up to Chicago, visiting the pinball factories there, and then going all the way up to Milwaukee to the Midwest Gaming Classic. But gradually, bits of that kind of died as they were cancelled, and then now I couldn't fly at all. So the whole thing was cancelled. And that's going to be a nice road trip with there's going to be myself, Jonathan Houston from Pinball Magazine, and Gary Flower as well. We were going to have a nice team going around. But here we are.
Here we are. You've made the best of it, and now we're here in Houston for just one activity. Oh, I will. No, I'm going to get to how awesome Martin is. But we need to know.
Yeah, no, let's get to that straight away.
Who are you? What do you do?
As far as the reason I'm here is I'm here as the editor of Pinball News, and I tour pinball shows, and I used to play competitively for probably about 20 years. I gave that up 4 years ago, believe it or not, and now I'm covering shows, I'm meeting people, I'm talking to people, and I'm a player still. I still enjoy playing the game. I want to find out what the latest games are, and that's a great reason for coming here, because we really don't get these games anywhere near as quickly in the UK as we do here. There's nowhere, I don't think, on location I can go in the UK and play a Godzilla limited edition or a premium, or anything like that. So coming here and seeing 4 of them all set up in a circle and take your pick, it's a fantastic thing.
But there's not many lines. There's so many to play.
That's right, but also it gets me to visit other countries, visit other communities, go to locations. So I'm going to be visiting various places so I can play pinball on location while I'm over here. And and I'm going to the IAPA trade show in Orlando after this. Excellent. And then after that, I'll be going up to fly up to Boston to go to the fantastic New England show.
That's a fun one, I've heard. I've never been there.
No, have I? No, okay. First time. I mean, I've always wanted to go, but it's always been sort of straight after Expo. Well, not straight after, sort of like 3 weeks after or something like that, and I can't stay in the country that long.
Yeah, odd timings, visas, it gets difficult, huh?
You got too much over here, that's not fair.
And the problem is too, I mean, for us too, they are so back to back to back, right? I mean, 2 weekends ago was Expo in Chicago.
Yeah.
Last weekend was MGC.
It was,
this weekend is this. Next weekend is Pintastic. One after another. I think people are just so excited to get out to play pinball right now.
Well, it's fantastic. Everyone's got that pent up urge to go out and meet everybody and play and compare notes and just see people you haven't seen for so long.
I feel the energy here in Texas is very, it is very passionate this weekend. People are very happy. Everyone's so happy to be back together, maybe see friends they haven't seen in some time. It's been quite fun.
It is a fantastic atmosphere here, I have to say. But somebody who's never been to this show, it just seems so social and it's such a great mix as well. It didn't start off as pinball. It started off as more like gaming.
Yep.
But pinball's gradually come in and it's grown and expanded. But it's kept all the other elements as well. Where else can you go? You've got an entire schedule of musical events on every single day.
I think that's my favorite part about this show is that you get to enjoy the pinball, the people, and the games. but then you also had a show every night for like 3 or 4 acts. It's quite fun. What have you enjoyed playing here? How is this show different to some of the other ones you've been to? Because it is unique other than the music. You know, with the tournaments set up and different groups set up in certain spots. Do you enjoy the? I'm sorry. Rather, let me add one more thing. Do you enjoy the shows that are pinball and video games mixed in, or do you prefer? Are you a pinball guy strictly?
I am pretty much strictly pinball, but I suppose I got into gaming of any kind through video games, both playing them at home, playing them on location, or playing them at college when I was there. It's got me into pinball as well. And also writing a few myself back in the early days when one person could write a computer video game. You know, imagine the teams that are working on them now and the complexity of them is amazing. So no, I have absolutely no objection to sharing space with all kinds of gaming. You know, be it tabletop, be it video games, console, retro, brand new stuff. I go to all kinds of different shows. You know, some of them have got all the PS5s and the Xboxes out there, and the companies are there launching their games, and that's great. But also I go to trade shows, like IAPA, and there's a few in the UK as well, where you've got huge multiplayer racing games, bike games. Yes. You've got the virtual reality, and I enjoy playing and seeing all the developments, because there's a huge amount of crossover between that. What's happening in coin-op generally, and what's happening in pinball. Although pinball's moving away from coin-op and moving more into the home, well, guess what's in the home? The consoles are in the home, and tabletop games are in the home. So those are kind of areas and the themes which could well work into pinball, and they have ideas about gameplay as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, having it all in one place is great, because it's cross-fertilization between different genres.
Yeah, the melding of the different camps, the way people like to game is always exciting to me. When you have the cosplayers come in and play pinball, and maybe they've never played it before, right? Maybe they're young. That's what I really like about these mixed gaming style shows.
Yeah.
Anywho, what about? Let's talk a little bit about you. You are from the UK. You live in London. Mm-hmm. What is the pinball scene like in London?
It's a lot less on location than it used to be, I'm afraid. We don't really have the same kind of arcade culture.
Do you think that would work in the UK, or is that?
It definitely would work, but the big problem there, I mean, it's not an issue you have over here so much, is space. London is a the UK is a small country, densely populated, and rents are very, very high on commercial properties, particularly in London. So trying to have a huge, great hall filled with pinball machines and a big bar. Most people who operate arcades say the pinball machines don't make any money. It's the bar and it's the food where you make the money.
Yep.
Well, you can't afford to have all that space taken up by pinball machines that aren't earning in London, because it doesn't make any financial sense.
If you take those 8 pinball games out and you put 10 stools there, those are going to earn a lot more money every pint than the game.
Which is exactly what's happened in pubs as well, and even smaller pubs. There was a pinball machine there. They'll take that out. They put a table there, and they make all the money on the food.
And then no one missed it the week after it's gone, right? Well, or maybe some people miss it, but the bar owner may not.
Well, the problem was, I always found with pinball, that they do miss it, but they don't realise straight away, because the pinball did make money, and it wasn't just the money in the coin box, it was the money those people were spending at the bar, buying the drinks, buying the snacks, while they were playing the game. And of course, there's no correlation between that bar spend and the pinball player. They take the pinball machine out, and suddenly the bar takings go down, and they don't realise exactly why that is, because it's not linked directly. You can't see it on a spreadsheet.
It's a symbiotic relationship. We just need to remind everybody that it really is, right?
Yeah.
What has been your favorite game? What has been your favorite event that has happened this weekend so far?
I would say get to play the Godzilla Premium. I did play the Pro just a couple of days ago at a show in London, so that was great. And also getting to play some of the Multi-Morphic games as well, which I haven't played.
Blown away by Heist. I really like that game.
Yeah, I covered it on Pinball News and done loads of interviews with Jerry and Stephen, but until you actually get your hands on it and see what the controls are and what the missions are, you really can't get a feel for it. And that's another reason to come to a show.
Absolutely. If you feel safe, if you're close enough, come out to a show next year. You will not regret it. Martin, thank you from all of us for everything you have done for the pinball hobby community, spreading good, well thought out, unbiased articles and reporting. It's fantastic. Well, it's unrivaled.
That's the whole reason I started Pinball News. It was to promote pinball and to help other people who are doing the same. You know, so people who are running shows, if you can't come to this show, you'd never really know what it was like. So unless somebody actually comes here, takes pictures, takes videos, writes a report, lists all the machines they could have played, who the vendors were, you know, if that's all there, not just this year, no, last year, the year before, going back 10 years, 20 years, all that stuff's still there. So if you want to know what show a particular game was launched, well, there it is. You know, just search for the game name and you'll see all the articles about it. So that's something I really wanted to do, and because when I started it back in 1999, we all know what state pinball was in 1999 when Williams had got out of the business and everybody was saying pinball's dead. Well, come here, look around here. Is pinball dead? I don't think so.
I don't think it can die. Thank you so much. It was great. An honor to meet you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And I said,
wow, Flipstream just gifted a tier 1 sub to Marco Pinball.
Flipstream with the flex. This one's for you, baby. And
well, my name is Manuel, and I'm here to say I'm rocking to the beat almost every day. I got real big. I'm never small, because I do all my shopping at Marco Pinball. Hit it! What?